Hey everyone, Papercut here with a replay review. Here we have Larity 5452, who is playing Delhi against Order of the Dragon, which seems to be everyone's bugaboo right now. Key of Order of the Dragon is counters. Since they have less units, their counters hit harder, but thus, if you build the counters against their units, it will be even better against them. So you gotta scout them and build their counters quickly. First, you have to make sure as Delhi, the second you drop your mosque and mill, you are hitting those upgrades. They're free, but they take a while, so you got to do them immediately. Queue them up. You want to do wheelbarrow, then survival techniques. You want to do efficient production, then piety. It's valuable time we're missing on those upgrades. Now, Delhi actually has a pretty good game against Order of the Dragon because their units are expensive and a little bit slower. You can produce units very, very quickly, and that means you can also switch your comp quickly. So usually the way Delhi beats Order of the Dragon is just way out producing them. You have to be careful you're not, once again, like if he's making spears and all you're making is Ghazis, those spears will destroy your Ghazis no matter how much you have. You have to have lots of archers. So you have to be really clear and careful about scouting them, seeing what they're making, and then making those counter units. Go into Dome of Faith. Get your upgrades. The second you hit feudal, I'm gonna be curious. We're hitting our upgrades the second you hit feudal here. But good eco split here. Obviously, you know the build order. Tag that on assign scholar directly, so they just pop directly into your Dome of Faith. So they start boosting your research speed. For if you don't know, the more scholars you have, the faster your research is. But they have to be in building. They have to be either in a mosque or your Dome of Faith. All upgrades queued up. Very nice. Key. You even put sanctity first. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. Stable down. Now you always want to open stable. Ghazis are one of your power units. He went, okay. So why are we heading back? So you notice, I see you clicked all the way back here, and now you're going up and around. When you're here, you basically should just be doing circles around their base, because you need to see what are they opening with. He already has his second TC down. Seeing that second TC tells you he might potentially try to rush castle, or he's just trying to eco boom into being able to beat you. So, with that in mind, let's see how you attack this. But you really wanted to see this sooner. Oh, you're gonna see this late. Okay, here comes Ghazi, but right now his eco's very close. Wood line right next to his TC. Already got the archery range down, that's great. And you see the second TC. Now here's the tough thing about you pushing second TC, or the Dragon second TC. First, you have to research rams, right? Well, that means you need to get down a blacksmith and then research rams, and since your research is slower, that'll take a minute. And you have to, they have a, what's it called? Mercy repair, so you're gonna have to like attack almost twice. You see the barracks, so he's definitely gonna make spears. So you can try pushing this. You need to put like everything into making your units. Mass archers is gonna be your way to go, basically. Mass archers with some Ghazis. And then the second sanctity finishes, you want to be on those sacred sites. Take all three at once. I would basically, and also make sure you're always producing scholars. I would make sure basically at the 20-second mark of sanctity, pop your scholars out and take all three sacred sites at once. And once the sacred site timers are going off, you have a choice there. You either all in his 2 TCs, or you could rush castle, which what that provides you is just better units to push him with. Units of more ranged armor, units that are, then you actually have all his counters, such as if he makes men at arms, you have crossbows. And you can get to castle very quickly, because the second you take, I'm glad you pushed small food here. The second you take the sacred sites, you can basically put all your wood villagers on food, like these 2 berry packs, and get to castle very quickly. So, small thing, the second you saw the barracks, you should have immediately popped that scholar into your archery range and just been going super into archers. The archer mass here is key. That's the first thing you should push, right? He should not get this deer. That's so much food. One way you beat the Order of the Dragon 2 TC is starving him of food. He's almost out of sheep. He hasn't even put down any farms yet. He's spending 120 every 23 seconds to afford all his villagers. So his food is really being spent pretty heavily. The fact that you were making units and didn't go to like So I guess the thing about, like, when you see the resource, you have to ask yourself, what resource do I need to cut off? You really need to cut off food. You saw where his deer are. I would have liked if all these units have been rallied basically to here. So the second you saw the, so still forward, right? Like, it's not easy to cut off your units. But the second you saw him try to go to tower, you could have dove. And with those 4 archers you have now, 2, and this, with the archers, you could have potentially pushed them back, or at least killed villagers. But this is why the second you saw the barracks, you needed to hard switch into archers immediately. Because the archer mass is what's key, what's key here. You don't know about the stable yet, but you stop looking, basically. And you're just going to give him the food now. That's so much food. That's life-saving food for him right now. I'm not even joking. Like, that's so much food that he's getting that he had no business having. Is he out of sheep? Yeah, you basically, these deer are going to power him into being able to now survive off farms, which is a really big deal for Order of the Dragon. I'll drop a ram and just push the tower. Oh, now he's pushing you. Well, that means he doesn't have units at home. Ooh, don't dive under that. Is that within emergency repair range? So when you see a ball of Order of the Dragon units like that, you cannot take those on with small numbers. That's all archers. That's all spearmen too. I'm glad you immediately dropped the barracks. Smart. Barracks archers is kind of the way to go here. A spearman archer is kind of the way to go here. I like that switch a lot. Like that you went on berries immediately. You gotta just start adding more production. If it feels like you're kind of fighting this, you're making more production. You're making units. This is when you could honestly go castle though. You have 5 on gold. You have 2 sacred sites. That's the question. Are you trying to go castle? Because 5 on gold suggests castle. But you're still heavily on wood. So this would be the chance right now. You're pressuring him. You're keeping him off food. You've taken the sacred sites. This would be the chance to just pull your units off wood. You have almost 400 wood, so you can drop 2 more production buildings. And just go immediately on these berries and rush up that castle. And that gives you some better units to spam. Your lack of archers is hurting you here, though. Don't separate your units. He wants to feast off small unit amounts. You gotta make sure your army stays together. I wouldn't push with this. Okay, so now you're committing, you're making units. But you're committing with 5 on gold. So you have 2 sacred sites and 5 on gold. None of your units cost gold. None. The only thing that costs gold is your scholars. So that's the key thing to remember about Delhi. You actually have no gold usage except for scholars. So if you are going to have 8 on gold, you should be going castle. If you want to be making units, if these 8 villagers should be on food, and if you had 8 or like 4 on food, 4 on wood, and if you had that many, you could just be spamming units like crazy. You could have doubled the production, just be spamming units if that's the case. And that would have worked. If you had just been hardcore spamming units, that would have put you in a really good position to push this and finish him. Second, this can't happen. Like, you can't, you have to outmass him and counter him, but you're letting him use his smaller unit numbers to bully your separate units. That's really bad. And the longer this is taking, the more farms he's getting down. Yeah, I think either earlier to go castle or you needed a hard commit to unit production. You're not splitting your eco to make yourself successful here. I'll just keep losing units. That's really bad. And here's the thing, you can't push with 2 rams, 3 archers, and 3 Ghazis. The reason being is if he just gets textiles, his villagers could freaking fight your units. That's how takey they are. You need a mass, and you keep losing your units, because now you're at 34 units. But he's at 31, and he's smart. He knows he doesn't need to sit here for all his units. He can use his main mass, and he's just trying to catch your units out of position here. Drop more production. Yeah, you just throw all those units away, yeah. Yeah, and that's easily killed. So that's 400 wood down the drain. Shh. Nika. Oh, it's just you can't take that fight. He has way too many units now. That's basically GG. You didn't fight with all your units, man. Like, you left half your army at home. Now look at your eco. You have 1900 gold. I would literally just buy resource with this gold. You have no reason to have all this gold. You now have 10 scholars. What are they doing? You got all your research. These scholars should all be in production buildings. You should be producing like crazy. So you've overproduced scholars. It just feels like the game plan failed the second you saw a second TC. Like you just lost all goal base, and now he's just gonna run through your units because he's too many units. And you're lucky he didn't make. If he made archers right now, you'd be in a bad spot because you've countered him really well. Actually, you're making the right counters. Just spears, archers, counters this completely. But you never actually then invested in making the correct units and in mass. I'm glad you pulled completely off gold. You don't need gold right now. You have so much gold. You're not making villagers though. You're making traders on accident. Now he's aged up and this is over. It's over, I'm saying, because his eco's so good and he has so many units. You have 39 units, 44 villagers. He has 70 villagers, 56. So this also tells me you weren't making villagers this whole time. Yes, he's overproducing villas, but even then he's producing them slower than you. So you have not been making villagers as well. How many did you lose? 6. Yeah. He should not be that many villagers above you. You're also missing villagers at a lot of points. So overall, here's the thing. Here's what I'll say. You need to understand what your opponent's weaknesses are based on their civ. Order the Dragon, its counters, and massing. You did the opposite of that by not keeping your military together, not massing and taking good fights with your full military mass, instead of getting picked apart. You were making counters, but you didn't have enough production. Add more production. 2, your eco didn't match your goals. It seemed like you wanted to attack them, but you didn't set up your eco to do that. You have 800 stone right now. You had way too much gold. So it felt like you weren't you didn't have a clear, here's what I want to do, here's how I'm moving my eco. The second you're like, I'm attacking, I see 2DC, I'm going to go all in. That's fine. You then have to adjust your eco to do that. Scholars and production buildings are great. You still want multiple production buildings. Because you should have had so much pressure at the point of attack that he couldn't decap these. But instead you're attacking in small groups, getting them pulled apart, and then letting him build up too many units. Because once he gets too many units, it's just really hard to break Order the Dragon Death Ball. And he's adding in like men at arms and stuff like this at this point. So he has full farming eco, like not great for you. That's the biggest thing at this level though, man. Having a coherent, here's my plan. If you change your plan based on what you say, it's great. Adjust your plan from scouting. But when you see something and you realize I want to do something differently, actually change your eco to match that thing. Yeah. I hope you found this review helpful. Let me know if you have any questions, and good luck on your games.